Hello, my name is Patricia Rutledge. I'm here to give you a 3-minute simplification of the nervous system. How many nervous systems do we have? We've got central, peripheral, somatic, autonomic. Throw in sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions too. Is anyone else confused? Okay, here are some really easy tips for you. The central nervous system is central. In the center of our body, we have a brain and spinal cord. These make up the central nervous system, or CNS. Just like peripheral vision sees the outside edges and the periphery of our body has arms and legs, the peripheral nervous system extends outward from the central nervous system. This uses 12 pairs of cranial nerves, 31 pairs of spinal nerves, autonomic nerves, and ganglia. The sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions supply opposing forces to meet the body's demands and then return it to homeostasis. For example, if the pupils dilate in the darkness, they need to constrict in the light. The somatic nervous system supplies the striated skeletal muscles. If the brain says jump, the skeletal muscles respond. Think of S for some control and S for somatic. You don't have to think about digestive processes or your heart beating. These are controlled by automatic functions. The autonomic nervous system supplies these muscles and tissues automatically. So now we know the 4 nervous systems. Well, how do they work? Nerve cells, called neurons, make that magic happen. Neurons are made up of a body and an axon and one or more dendrite. The axon sends impulses away from the nerve body. A axon, A away. The dendrites bring messages right back to the nerve body. As you can see, the neuron on the left is sending a message down the insulated or myelinated axon to another nerve cell's dendrite. At this junction, called a synapse, there's an electrical impulse that sparks the dendrite next door. Woohoo! Go reflex arc! You saw how one neuron interacts with another. Let's look at the bigger picture now. The central nervous system, CNS, needs to communicate with the peripheral nervous system, PNS. Afferent and efferent neurons do the talking. Let's suppose a finger touches something hot. The PNS sends a signal to the brain when it senses that problem. It uses afferent neurons, also known as sensory neurons, to send the message, ouch! Then the CNS needs to give a command like, move that finger. It sends a signal via the motor neurons. These are called efferent. Since the CNS is central, remember that efferent and exit from central both start with E. We're almost done. Let's recap what you learned. First, there are 4 divisions of the nervous system. The central is center. It has the brain and spinal cord. The peripheral is periphery. That means surrounding or extending like peripheral vision. The 12 pairs of cranial nerves, 31 pairs of spinal nerves, ANS, and ganglia make up the peripheral nervous system. The striated skeletal muscles that you have some control of are under the control of the somatic nervous system. Automatic processes like heartbeats and digestion are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Neurons are nerve cells. They communicate by sending signals out of the axon. At the end, an electrical spark jumps the synapse or gaps to the dendrites of other nerve cells. Finally, the peripheral nervous system uses afferent sensory neurons to communicate to the CNS. The CNS commands the PNS by efferent or motor neurons.